Now we come back home and to the currency market to see what happened to the Naira yesterday. We did see an appreciation after the Central Bank of Nigeria intervened, and this time they did it through the BDCs, the Bureau, the Change, that's the parallel market. So we see that even though there was an appreciation at NAFEX, 0.33%, but I mean, normally we keep our eyes more on NAFEM, where it closed at 1,667 naira 42 kobo after it opened at 1,658 naira 48 kobo, lost more than 0.5% at the close of trade. So that's, you know, another worry that we've been seeing, a trend since last week, Friday, where we've seen even when there's an intervention by the central bank, some money released into the market, we still see the Naira losing value. And Mr. Rewane, Mr. Bismarck Rewane, Chief Executive Officer of Financial Derivatives Company, has been talking about this. He says he believes it is because of the uncertainty in the intervention or the timeline of intervention expected from the central bank. Now, let's talk to him this morning and see perhaps he has found out something more about this. Mr. Rewane, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
Great. So you've been saying that the reason we are seeing a drop in the value of Naira, in spite, I mean, we saw the CBN intervene on Friday, they intervened on Monday, they intervened yesterday again. And in spite of that, we still see continuous drop in the value of Naira. You're connecting this to the uncertainty to when the CBN will actually intervene. This knowledge, you say, is bringing uncertainty to the market. I don't know if you found out something new. Oh, it seems perhaps there's an internet glitch right there, because it seems Mr. Rewane is frozen on the screen, but I'm sure we'll get him back in a couple of seconds, hopefully. Yeah, but I mean, looking at what's happening in the value of the Naira, and then when we listened to Mr. Cardoso 2 days ago, MPC decision announcement, and when he was asked about his achievement or his work in 1 year, celebrating 1 year in office. We did hear, I mean, one of the things obviously is closing the gap between the parallel and the official market. So while that's commendable, when we look at the value of the Naira, I mean, the reintroduction of the Dutch auction system, well, it's receiving applause. But I mean, what about the value of the Naira? I think we have Mr. Rewane back. Mr. Rewane, can you hear us now?
Clearly.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I was just saying that you've already expressed your thoughts on why you think the Naira keeps depreciating in spite of CBN intervention. Have you found out something new?
No, let me first of all, normally once a country increases its interest rates, the currency strengthens, because basically it becomes more expensive to get the local currency to buy the international currency. That's basic rule number one. So two things happen here. One, the US interest rates were dropped by 50 basis points, and Nigeria increased its own interest rate by 50 basis points. So, technically speaking, the Naira should appreciate instantaneously against the dollar, because the interest rate inflation differential has narrowed. But having said that, you must understand that a lot of people who are in the currency markets had an inventory of dollars. Two, a lot of people did not know, and there was no clarity as to when the next auctions will be. So what we are saying is that once the central bank announces that we will have periodic interventions, no matter what the frequency and the magnitude, the marketplace will take that into consideration. So initial reactions were negative because they want information. One of the characteristics of perfect markets is that if there's information, easy entry and exit, homogeneous commodity, the market becomes perfect and prices begin to decline. So in this case, I think the next credible step would be that the central bank would have to now begin to announce how it intends to intervene. Yes, there was some money sold to BDCs in the last day or two, but that's not going to cut it. You need a very deliberate and intentional strategy as to how to get the currency back. But having said that, I think that the Naira got to 1,700 yesterday. I think it begins to appreciate from today or tomorrow. You begin to see it will be sticky at about 1,700. And then it gradually begins to come down. But let's not deceive ourselves. A 50 basis point increase in interest rates is not going to salvage the Naira. It only means that it will appreciate marginally And then gradually, other things have to come into place. One, the debt service proportion, the fiscal activities of the government, and more than anything else, we must get the oil revenues back up by actually doing something about the vandalism in the Niger Delta.
Yeah, obviously, the oil and gas sector is still the major driver of revenue and sustenance of the economy. But another worrying one, we've been talking about the threat of food insecurity. We have numbers, we have researchers and all of that. But the flood seems to bring another dimension to that, because now the United Nations is estimating that that flood destroyed about 8.5 food for about 8.5 million Nigerians. So once again, a bleak Christmas is what we're seeing?
Yes. Well, to a large extent, a bleak Christmas, because we're counting on three things between now and Christmas. One, the import of commodities with the duty waiver program. Two, the harvest season. And three, the lower logistics costs. Now, with the floods, both in the northeast and to a large extent the south, it means that we will lose part of the harvest. Two, it will be more difficult to move products from one market to the other. And three, even if you import the commodities, you will not be able to get it into the hinterland and the marketplaces. So this is bad luck, right? At times you have to be smart and be lucky. So this is bad luck for Nigeria, and it means that the inflation trajectory that we're expecting that will begin to decline in November and December may not materialize as earlier anticipated. Look at the domestic commodity prices. As of today, flour is up significantly to about 71,000 naira. Rice is up at 100,000 imported and 95,000, I understand, for domestically milled rice. Palm oil is down, and tomatoes is the big one that has actually come down to 22,000 naira a basket. So mixed bag there for commodities. Another thing that happened after the increase in interest rates was that normally, if you increase interest rates, the stock market declines because people move from equities to fixed income securities. We saw that happen yesterday. The day before yesterday, the market appreciated. Yesterday, it appreciated again because of surplus and other things. We think that today, the market will go down. And we also think that today, maybe the Naira will stabilize and begin to appreciate marginally. But the transmission effect of that into domestic prices will take some time to come. There will be a lot of anguish between now and the end of the year.
Yeah, well, we do hope. I know we started counting down 100 days, like 2 days ago. So we do hope that those buffer that the federal government, I mean, the waiver, duty waiver and all of that will set in. So at least we'll have, a beautiful Christmas at the end of the year. But thank you so much, Chief Executive Officer of Financial Derivatives Company, Mr. Bismarck Rewane.
But there was one comment, though, Ini. There was something about the family office. There were some comments about the Dangote refinery. First and foremost, the products are coming out in the market. We'll have a new price in October based on the Naira oil concentration. But also, some people said Dangote is sort of a family office. Family offices are normal. So you have Gates family office, Warren Buffett family office, and all of those offices. I think it's important that we realize that separating the corporate identity from the personal identity, that is typical. And therefore, the focus is on when the refinery starts to produce, at what price, and we made it clear that we do not think that the price is going to decline anytime soon. If anything, the price is going to increase. But one thing, though, is that the uniform pricing across Nigeria is a thing of the past now. That therefore, the price in Maiduguri will not be the same thing as the price in Akure. Neither will it be the same thing as the price in Port Harcourt or in Sokoto, for that matter. So differential pricing and efficient pricing come in. Two, that the price of diesel, which today is at 1,180, begins to be a proxy for the price of petrol. Therefore, if you're paying 900 now, you have to get ready for the fact that you'll be paying 1,100 and something in a not too distant future. But however, because of the reduction in traffic, you'll find that even though the increase in price, you are spending less time in traffic, and maybe the amount of petrol you are burning is less than you were burning before. Is that any comfort for anybody who is paying for transport fare? No. I'm just putting the reality on the table that we should get ready for those increases as a part of this adjustment process. Thank God the youth corps allowance is now at 77,000. So that's the beginning of the soft landing for the Nigerian consumers.
Yeah, well, interesting there, Mr. Rewane, and I'm sure a lot of people want to know more about that pricing you're talking about. Is it the one decided by the Federal Executive Council? Is it the market price, between the private, the other stakeholders in the value chain buying from Dangote? I mean, but I guess I'll be putting you on the spot right here because you're neither in Dangote nor in NNPCL or even the government.
No, I think that the pricing, the value chain from when crude oil goes into Dangote refinery, when it is refined and when it's passed on to either the independent marketers or to NNPC. What we are seeing now is the early stages of a value chain that needs to be efficiently structured so that we will know that this is the price of crude internationally, this is the refining cost, the transportation cost is part of it, and then the final cost. But one thing is clear, that nobody is going to sell petrol or any commodity for that matter below their cost price. So what is the margin? The margin is determined between NNPC or the marketers and Dangote refinery. In any case, people have an option. If Dangote's refinery products are too expensive, then NNPC or the other marketers will import from other places. But there are also other refineries, modular refineries, and the government-owned refineries, which we are told will get back into operation very soon. They've been saying that for the past 3 years, but seeing is believing, as I said.
All right, Mr. Bismarck Rewane, thank you so much for that information. I know that's a very useful one for Nigerians.